So you want to be able to take this ordinary curve and use it to manipulate air particles? No wahala. Hi guys, my name is Caesar and I am back with the second part of my Anybody Can Groom Air course. If you haven't seen the first part yet, I highly recommend that you check it out first because I went through the fundamentals of the curve primitive and geometry nodes for air in that video, and I may not really go into them in this part of the tutorial. Today, we will learn how to control your air groom by using only curves in Blender. I hope you will enjoy the video. Okay guys, welcome to the second part of this beautiful course. Okay, hope you're excited to learn the air system that uses curves to manipulate the children. Okay, so let's begin. I think to recap, in the last course we went through this. We were able to create this, and we talked about the disadvantage and the advantage. The advantage being that it's very easy to use, you can control it easily. But the disadvantage is that if you go to cycles, people can tell that it's fake once they zoom it. It's not as beautiful. Let me not use the word beautiful. It's not as realistic and beautiful as air curves. And with this, the advantage is that it looks very good because you get individual air strands. But the problem is that to manipulate it is insane, bro. Let's say I want to create let me do the effects with the air curves so you see. Let's say with these air curves, I want to do hui, hui. Oops, let me do this. Let's say I want to do this effect. Look at how easy it was to do. So beautiful. But now let's try to do it with the air grooms. And we started with 8, if you remember, 8 vertices, if you count them. It is literally impossible to do it. Literally, you have to resample the air curves again to be able to do it, and also to manipulate it is hell. Instead of just extruding with the air curves like we just did, you'll be manipulating. Like there's no segment here to create the curve. It's just very annoying to use, but it's very beautiful. So let's combine with this air stem. We'll be combining the strength of the two workflows. Okay. For this air system, we created an air scalp the last time. Yeah, we won't be using that. We won't be using this air scalp that we created. This one. For this workflow, you know what? Oh, never mind. You will be using it. But it will just act as a container. You can also put it anywhere, but it's better to just separate it. It's not really necessary, but let's just keep it. So I'm going to turn off the last air system that I did. And now I'm going to begin. I'm going to take an air strand. Sorry, a part, so that I can explain this tutorial very well. I'll put it here in front. And I'll create a new container for this scalp. We'll call it bangs with new air system. So we know that is the new air system we're going to be using for that. So we have two of the things we need. We have the scalp that is holding our new air system that will be generated. All the children will be generated here in this bank's new air container, and all of them will be attached to the scalp, and this will control them. That's the relationship between the three things we created. This will control, the direction and flow of the air. This will house the children, and the children will attach to the scalp. Easy, right? Easy to understand. So let me unpin this so that we can see the new air system. Now let me just take a breather because I need to catch my breath. Okay, I'm back. Let's begin. Now we'll be running into a lot of problems with this geometry noise system because, like I said, we are faking a lot of things. So Blender would not want to listen to you at the beginning. You have to force it to listen to you. We run into a lot of problems, and I'll show you how to fix most of them. I might need to create a new tutorial video on grooming itself and how to fix the rest of the problems. But for now, I'll fix the most important ones. So the first one is come here, just like we did last time. We need to create a new geometry node system. I will call it banks with new system. Okay? You guys are probably already pros at doing that already, but let me just I'll go through it and explain better. Yeah. So if you are not seeing the fundamental videos, it might be good for you to go back and watch it. It might help you because you might miss some things. So put this on top again. The deformer needs to be at the bottom because when you are animating, this will help the scalp to stick to the surface or something. So with the with this selected, I'm going to pin it so that when we select other objects, this doesn't change. So let's begin. Now, for geometry nodes, we have the group input, we have the group output. Okay. The group input takes, let's focus on this will help you, help me explain better. The viewer node, it's compared to the shader node, the viewer node, it takes two inputs. One is geometry and one is value. This value, think of it like this. This is data, this is instruction. This is is going to take your geometry or your and tell it that this is how you should manipulate or this is how you should process my data. This knowledge will help you a lot. And yeah, at the end of the day, only the geometry will go out and be shown in the viewport. And this is why it's so interesting because you can literally say that UV sphere and you can plug this here. Oops, I forgot we are in the air container. So nothing else, I don't think anything else besides the air system will work here. But yeah, literally, it should work though. Weird. But usually it should work. But I don't want to delay. I'll be figuring it out now, you know. But yeah, group input, group output. Group input means that there can be multiple inputs here. Some of them will pop up here, and there can be group output, and some of them will pop up here too. So yeah, let's begin. One thing you need to take away is that anything in geometry is anything, literally anything, and literally anything can be referenced here, can be the input. Literally anything. Now, this is a this is me. This is a segue. It's not supposed to be part of this tutorial, but let me quickly show you something. This will help you understand geometry nodes very, better and Blender better. Let's create Suzanne. So we have Suzanne and we have a cube. Now, in your mind, if I ask you what is this, you say that this Suzanne is an object in Blender. This cube is an object in Blender, but in reality, no, they are not. The object means that it's just the container, and whatever what is containing, it is this cube. This is also a container, and what is containing is Suzanne. Now, what does that mean? It means that you can literally say that this point is the object, not the cube. Crazy, right? Because if you want to, there's a way. If you want to turn this cube into Suzanne, you can. Because this cube is actually not, is this object is actually not a cube, it's just a container. And you can tell this that, hey, this container contains Suzanne instead. And to do that, just come here and just change this to Suzanne. There you go. And whatever you do to Suzanne will be affected. Yeah, same thing. You do understand the scenario. This is just a container. If you want to turn the Suzanne into a cube, just take this and make it a cube. Oops, that's the wrong cube. This one. And with that idea in mind, that means you can do insane things in geometry notes. So let's say with this, you create a new geometry notes system for this cube. Okay. The group input for this cube is a cube. You can say that, okay, the group input should be a UV. This is what I was trying to do the other time. A UV sphere. Look at this. And there you go. So now this cube is literally a UV sphere. Or you can say it is Suzanne. I wonder if Suzanne is there. What's the spelling of Suzanne? Is that Suzanne? How do you spell Suzanne? Okay, I don't think Suzanne is available here. I've never tried it before. Yeah, it's not available. But it could be anything. You can make it a cylinder. Okay? And just like that. This cube is a cylinder. And you can change anything. It's a lot, man, geometry is very powerful. It's a lot easier to control. And whatever ends up here is here. And also you can say that, okay, this is not just the cylinder. Okay, if you go to edit mode, it's still the cube you are saying, because this is just a modifier. But you can say that this cube is actually a UV sphere and a cylinder together. And with that in mind, if you look, that's the UV sphere. It's there. So with that in mind, that means you can do really amazing things. And I just did what I did in the viewport here with the Suzanne in the geometry note. If you keep that in mind, you'll be able to do a lot of things. So let's use that idea in our air system. Sorry for the break, but now we can get back to our work. Now, with that in mind, now that we know that anything can be the input, anything can be referenced, that tells us that, let me put this into a group and I'll call them air strands. Air strands. Okay. Let me pin this back. That tells me that I can take, where's the air strands? I can take these air curves, bring it here, and it can be referenced. All I just need to do is preview. Look at that. It's very, very thick right now because it's recognizing it as air. Okay. And now if I manipulate it, look at that. It's working. If I duplicate it, it's working. You feel me? Okay. It's working. You can duplicate again and it's still working. So anything that's air will be seen as air, which is air, like air on the edge, not air that you used to you used to listen to music. So isn't that amazing? Now, that's if you do this. But that's if you duplicate in edit mode. But what if you want to duplicate in object mode, like we did in the last tutorial? It doesn't work. There's another way to do it. And this is the way I prefer to do it. And also, this is another thing you should notice. This, the air strand, the origin is here. That's why it's working. But if you say set origin to geometry, this air strand won't follow, it won't follow this. This is the air strand, this big white thing. I will reduce it later, but just believe that this is the air strand. It won't follow its parent. You see the distance. And that's because it has been moved in the viewport. If you wanted to remember that, okay, follow it wherever it is in the viewport. Click on relative. You see? So wherever it goes in the viewport, it will follow it. Okay? And just like that, you are fine. That's the object info node. Object info node. And I don't know if I even told you how I did it, so we'll do it again. I just dragged and dropped from the outliner to this. You can also search for object info node, but that's stress, and I've never done that before. So let's just try it. And you just need to select this. I think that's basically the same thing. So delete this. And now we want to be able to duplicate this in object mode and it should still work, right? So instead of taking this, the object, take this full collection that I created and try it out. It won't see it as it. You see, the air is not coming up. Let me turn off the. No, the air is coming up actually. Yeah, it's coming up. Let me turn off the collection for now, so that it's the scalp is creating a duplicate of this in its air system. So turn off the original so that you can see the duplicate, which is this. You see, you can't enter edit mode to fix it, but you can see it. So first thing we are going to do is click on relative, because we'll be moving this thing a lot, the original a lot in the in the viewport, so that the air follows it around. And then what we want to do is, let me show you the next problem you are going to encounter. Next problem you're going to encounter is if you create right set air curves, it won't work. The radius will not work. And you might think that it's because of the EV thing we did before, but it's still set. But why is it not working? The reason why it's not working is because you brought in a collection, not the exact curve. Now, as collection, they are brought in as CD's input instances. And instances are not necessary, they are geometry, but they are not necessarily geometry. So the way to make this instance into an actual geometry is to look for a realize instances node. And now look at that, the radius is working. Clap for yourself. We just fixed our first problem. And now if you duplicate with this relative selected, oops, I turned up the original. Click on the original, which is this, and then duplicate. You have air curves. Amazing, right? Now, let's now get a little bit more interesting. We have the object info node down already. Let me look at my notes. Okay, there we go. So we have two of our nodes done. Next, we are going to add. Imagine that we have not done this yet. Next, we are going to add the node we added in the last class, which is the set material node. And we are going to put air, so we get our color back. Beautiful. Then in the last tutorial, we went through the set air curve. This is just to set the radius. So for now, I'm going to make it 0.01. I'm not going to go through it again because I went through it the last time. So yeah, there we go. Maybe this is too small. Maybe 0.1 just for the viewport. That's too big. I'm going to scale this down in edit mode. Oops. There we go. Now you need to be careful. Once once you add this, it immediately tells you what the tip is. Remember that this is the tip. So just so that I don't forget, I'm going to rotate the tip outwards. Because if you put this as the root, the tip as the root, you will start running into problems down the line. So for now, immediately put this like this so that you understand and you can still leave it outside. So we have created, let me show you what the setup looks like. We have the air strands, the original, the curves that we can manipulate. And then we have this created on top of it, but this one we can't manipulate it. So they are laying on top of each other. If I turn off the controller, you can't see the control again, but you can still see the air that was created because of this. Just watch the outline as I'm talking. Because of this, the path curve, the air that was created with the path curve. I'm starting to ramble. Sorry, guys. Let me gather my thoughts. This one air strand was created based on the path curve here. Now we can't manipulate this air curve, but we can manipulate this path, and that's what we need. So as we manipulate the path, the air curve will follow it because it's based on it. So that means we are controlling this air system with the path curve. You feel me? So we control the path curve, but what is rendered is the air, which is a very nice setup. I'm so happy that this happened. Notice how I did this with the this is the shape of the curve itself. Oops. Yeah, this shape of the curve. Let me turn it off. Yeah. But the air is going this way. Why is that happening? Why is that happening? I will tell you later. But for now, just look at this. Try to understand how this setup works. This is manipulating the air. Okay, I've repeated it too many times already. So let's move on. So now that we've set the air curve, we need the next thing we are doing is what? We need to okay. I'm so happy that this happened. So the reason why this happened is because we are trying to manipulate this. Look at this. Look at the way it works. This is being controlled by something that's not evenly spaced. First, it's not evenly spaced. Also, and this will cause a problem down the line. So let's say we want to do something here, like something in this air curve here. It won't work because it was controlled by something like this. It's taking on the segment. So this air legit has about this amount of segments. So if you want to, let's put noise later. Noise will need all these segments to be able to break up. It won't work. So what we need to do is resample. The other matters. You need to get the the air curve. You need to realize it. You need to set the material. You need to give us a good radius, and then you need to tell it that okay, after you get the radius, I want you to resample the air curve. See that it's following this shape a lot better. Without the shape, look, this is the actual shape of the part. This, but now that we do the resample, it follows it better. You see, and you need that. You need to do that. So let's leave it at 10 for now. All you just need to do is leave it on count and say that I want this thing to be subdivided 10 times. Remember when we did the groom in the first part that we set it up as 8. Yeah, this is literally what it's doing. It's just recalculating the segments in the air and making it follow the curve more and also breaking it up more. So that even if you do this, this is closer to this is far from this is far from this, in the actual air, it is going to break up all this into evenly spaced segments, which is what we need. It is very good. So 10 is fine. Good. You see, we don't need this grouping piece anymore. We're already creating our own note system. I'm sorry if I'm rambling. Explaining this is just it's not very easy for me. So now the problem is why hold on. Why do we have only one strand? We need more strands. So we need to come generation, and I explained it again in the last course, duplicate our air. So now we have how many? 11 air strands in the scene. Okay? Okay. So we have that. And again, if you click on you can come here and make this one on clickable, the container for the air, because again we can't manipulate it. It's just the one display. So we want to just be able to control this. So anytime you select the air, it's going to select the controller. Look at this. and we can do. You just need to keep extruding, and you can create any shape you actually want to create. How insane is that? Okay. And just like the last time I told you, you will run into a problem. Let me show you the problem. Look at this. Look at this problem. Let me reduce the size of the. This is where you reduce the size. Okay. And increase the amount. Look, this is called a layering problem when you are grooming. The air at the top are layering in a weird way. They are entering the ones at the bottom. This is a big problem, a very big problem. So how do you solve it? How do you, with skills, how do you solve the problem? You you can use this tip even thickness. It makes everything circular, which I don't really like. Or you can use tip roundness slightly so that it helps you slightly. You see, it's a lot better. It's still there, but it's a lot better. There's a node setup that can make it even a lot better, but I'm not going to go through it here because it's a lot to talk about. It's a couple of nodes. But if you know about geometry nodes, you can probably figure it out and create your own air system. So this should work for now. That's our first problem down. That's no, that's not the first problem. That's the what problem is that? That's the second problem down. Now, the next problem you are going to run into is uh let's see what the problem is. Yeah. Why is the shape not like this? Got a reference. But we already discussed that in the last tutorial. So all I'm going to do is just bring in guides clump A. You get it? All it just does is clump the hair together. Maybe just for the sake of the people that didn't watch the last class, I'll just give you a quick breakdown. Radius is for the size. Tip roundness is for to fix that. It fix that issue. And the amount is the amount of air you get in the same. You see, this is increasing. The spreadsheet is increasing. Okay. And yeah, just you can put the if you are doing like if you are running into issues, use the guide index. The guide index means that it tells, let's say you are doing pattern, it creates like index. Think of index as like identity for, again, I don't know the terms, but think of it as identity for each, created for each guide that you create. So let's say you are running into problems and the clumps are entering each other. You use the guide index to tell them that, hey, remember who your guide parents are. Use these your parents when you are clumping so that you clump correctly. So if you are running into issues, plug it here. But the problem is once you plug this here, you won't be able to manipulate this. It won't work again. But if you remove it, you can do it. Why is it not working? Probably because there's only one strand in the center. We'll come back to this. But yeah, you have this shape. Shape means that what's the fall off from tip to root, guys. You see? And with the shape, you can get something like this. So this is the big clump. For the big clump, don't let it get to the tip entirely. So maybe 0.01. Spread the tip slightly. Maybe 0.03. There we go. This is very nice. Look at this. It's already more realistic than the one we got in the first tutorial. So we have that. All you just need to manipulate is put the geometry here. You are transferring the data, which is geometry. For now, you are not passing any instructions to it. This is the ones giving the instructions. And you are giving it the shape. Where is the clump going to start from? You can also go to the opposite, but I've not used that before. Tip spread is for the tip. Just make it small. And yeah, you can leave the rest at 0 for now. Then the next curve the node we are looking for is this. Now, I am manipulating my hair. Why are you not attached to the head? I want to be able to manipulate this hair anyhow I want. And I want you to attach to the head. So why are you not doing that? So that's where the next node comes in, which is called, you go to air, you go to utility, and you click on attach air curve to what? Surface, yeah. Now it's going to ask you for the surface. Is this orange one, not the green one? Now, to make it easier for you, instead of putting the surface here, you can put it in the modifier stack or in the group input node so that anytime you need it, you can just plug and play. Like, you know. So take this, plug it into you remember the group input we didn't use? Just plug it here. You see it will pop up here in the modifier stack. This is it without it before. Look at it. Nothing is there. But once you plug this here, boom, it appeared. And then you will need UV map too. Boom, it will appear too. Good. Now that you have the two of them, most of your problem has been fixed. Now you just need to tell it that, okay, what is the surface? The surface is called scalp. Aha, it will disappear. But it didn't disappear. Let me turn off the edge. Turn off this. It didn't disappear. It's attaching itself to the origin of this. So set origin to geometry for the scalp first, and also for this one, set origin to geometry. Okay, that didn't fix it, but you should actually do that. Set origin to geometry for both of them. Now, for the air, I hope this is recorded. Okay, so for the air, it needs, instead of attaching to the origin, it should give you the UV map so that it attaches to exact coordinate of this UV map. Okay, so all you just need to do is come here, and then instead of typing what the UV map is here, just click on this button. So that you did a UV map already. If you click on this, come here, look at your UV map. You did it. Look at the name, UV map. Capital letter U, capital letter V, capital letter M. You need to just come and tell it that that's the name of the UV map you created, and just spell it. Capital letter U, capital letter V, capital letter M, and press AP. Boom. It's already doing something. Okay, it's already doing something. Now, this is part that messes with my mind. Is it that this should be control? Oops. Don't set origin to geometry. You need to apply or transform so that the origin of the scalp goes to the world origin. And now it works. It works. The only reason why it's going this crazy is because you need to reduce this. See? Just need a little. You see? And all I just need to do is bring this closer. It just needs to touch the surface slightly. And now we can configure it to look better. So from here, just try to configure it. This is the lowest value you can probably need. And from now on, when you move the air, it will always stay. How cool is that? So no more problems in that area. So you can do it. So when you are using this curve, you don't always intersect it. Let's say you are rushing. This will, I think, even floating above the surface helps a little bit. So just use that, and you see, one of your problems is done. Now, the next problem. The next problem you are trying to fix is, okay. So the next problem, okay. So that's the next problem done. The Let me see. What are we trying to do now? We're trying to, okay. Next, I want to incorporate a node. We have to go back a little bit, but I'll show you a node. See as the air is straight. Like I told you in real life, there's noise. The air is always dancing around. How can we do that procedurally? Because I don't want to be the one to be moving these air strands individually, like a cycle. So how do you do that? You can come here. You see that at this point we have our parents. At this point, that's where we have our children. So before we have our parents, before we have our children, And just after resampling to get it more, more controls, you can put the formation air noise here, just in the middle. Look at what it does. Preview the noise node. And look at what it does. Also, you probably do this every once in a while. The air will turn black. And the reason why is because of this. Look at this information, this instruction for data is going into the value node. It will make it black, or it will make it any color that it could be. So just press Control right click drag to cut it, or just unplug it, and you have your color back. It's something that will mess with you as when you first start using geometry nodes. Yeah, it's weird, but after a while you get used to it. So you put the noise here. Now preview this. Preview the noise. So let's see what it does. First, remove this cumulative offset. Then increase the scale along the curve. Okay, and also the distance. Look at that. You're already introducing turn it off. You're already introducing procedural noise to your guide curves. Maybe just reduce the scale along the curve to maybe like 2. Okay, maybe let's do maybe 0.4. Nope. Yeah, something like this. Something subtle. As long as it's not straight. So preview it before the noise, after the noise. Maybe the shape should just make it the shrunk small. And for the shape, where is the noise starting from? Maybe we should avoid it starting at the roots. So something like this is fine. Okay. And just like that, all the children we take on that shape. Okay. And that's good. That's good. That will help us a lot down the line. But for now we can mute it. We turn it on after grooming, so that it doesn't affect us as we are grooming, affect our thoughts. So, oh, by the way, after doing the attach groom, you can now we can now start. I think that's majorly all our problems done. So now we can start doing a proper groom system. So create a space here, create another. Oops, never duplicate. Duplicating the geometries can be finicky. So just create another one, a new guide clump. Okay, and this one will help us make smaller clumps. It's still not working. Let's do this after we have groomed more of the air. So okay, just leave the space for now. The next thing you need to do is create flyaways. I told you all these things, and this one, this direct. But we are going towards something like this. So create flyaways. The way to create flyaways is very, very interesting. What you want to do is, yeah, create flyaways. What you want to do is, as you see flyaways, it's noise. They are going crazy. So that's noise. That automatically means that we are using noise for it. So noise, take the noise. Again, turn off cumulative because I don't know how to use cumulative very well. And then increase the scale along the curve to like maybe 20. And increase the distance. Yeah, now we're talking. It looks really crazy right now, but trust me, it will it's fine. So something like this. Like that. And also shape, maybe you should start closer to the oops, is this? Yeah, closer to the roost. I think this is actually fine. You see something like this? Yeah, something like this is fine compared to the former one. This, but we don't want all of them to be like this. So let's say that we want 90% of the air to follow the general shape that you groom, and like just 10% to be like this. 10% is too much, but I'm just using this for explanation. So 10% of this should go crazy. So how do you do that? You need to, how do you separate your air? This is your air, every of your air. This is all your hair. How do you separate all your hair into 90 and 10? So first you need a separate geometry node. And it will ask you, what are we separating points? No, we are separating splines. And then you ask you, how are we separating them? This is what this means. Now, separating them, we are separating them by a random value. We want it to be random. It should randomly pick A, but it's picking, what's it picking? So it's asking you, what kind of operation are we performing? Float? No, we are performing Boolean. Boolean will give us probability, which will help our randomness. So we are saying that this is 0 to 1, which is basically 0 to 100%. So if we say 90%, we are saying that select 90%. This is what this means. Select 90% of our hair. So selecting 90%, look at that. Our hair has reduced. Look at this. Look at the spreadsheet. If you don't know how to look for the spreadsheet, it's here. Just drag another window and put spreadsheet. Look at the hair. We have 998. But look at the hair. Preview it before we did this operation. Preview this node. We have 1,100 hair strands. So that means that right now we have 90% of our hair randomly chosen. Randomly. And the 10%, where is the 10%? The 10% is here. It's in the inverted. So if we look at it, that's our 10%. And look at this. That's 105 spline. Isn't that isn't that very cool? But obviously, like I said, 90% is too much. So maybe like 96% of the air. Yes. So 96% of the air is air. And then we have 6% of the air left. So this 6% of the air, they are the ones we want to go crazy and become the strays, to become the strays and the flyaways. So we will plug them into the geometry in the noise, not the 90, not the 95%. Or no, not the, how many percent did I pick? Okay, 4% is here and the 96% is here rather. So we want the 4% to come here. And then look at them. They are going crazy. And then we want to combine. So now we have 90%, 96% here. We have our 4% here that's going crazy. Now we need to bring them all back together. So you bring a joint geometry node. You will take your 90%. What do you have? Still your sorry, your 96%. This if I say 90, just imagine it's 96. And if I say 5% or 6%, imagine it's 4%. And you will take your remaining 4% and put it here too. Look at that. And they work together. This might be too crazy, but I think you get the idea. So I might just go back and go and reduce. First, go and change my shape so that I have something closer to like 0.2. This is shaping the each hair strand, and then I will just make this 0.03. Look at that. And that works. And all you just need to do is look at the way it's going too crazy for my liking. You just need to preserve length so that it doesn't go way beyond what it needs to. And just like that, you have strays. You might want to reduce the distance if it's too crazy for you. And it is too crazy for me. So something like this. And see, it's just like our own air. You can increase this if you want it to curl more. Oh, put offset per curve to like 1 so that each air curve gets their own different. You see, it's more beautiful now. They each get their own random roughness and can increase the scale along the curve. If you are not getting as much deformation as you imagine, don't forget, go back to your sample and add more. You see, the more I add, the more it can break up. Right? You see, the system is not that hard and it actually works. And then the next thing you need to do, which is okay. Okay, there's one more thing. I wasn't going to add it to this tutorial, but before we did this, which is the last node, is usually the last node here, which is the flyaways. We need to, should I frame it so that it helps you guys? Control G. Oops. Control F. Nah, F. I don't know how to frame with shortcut. But let me create a frame. Maybe that will help you understand better so that it's not too confusing. You can also do it for yourself. I'll put all of this. These are all the notes for flyaways, and I can rename it to flyaways. Oops, airways. Or call them strays. Anyone. So these are the nodes controlling just the flyaways. So the air system still works even if you don't use this. Where are they? Yeah, there we go. So yeah, before we did the flyaways, which is usually the last setup before we get the last air, you can put a trim here. It's like the simplest air node. Put a trim here there. And without the trim here, you see all of them are at the same length. With the trim here, it will first do something crazy. It will go crazy, become longer. So just remove and replace length. And then all the only thing you are changing is just this random offset. So maybe put it at 1. You see, it will cut the air randomly. So maybe 0.3 before, after. Look at this. Now all the air strands have different cuts, which makes it more realistic because they can be all the same. Okay, I hope that works for you. So yeah, there we go. Now that we have all of that, we can now start grooming our hair. So I'll groom the hair, the same bangs again with this new hair system, and you see how it works. Okay, good. Let me bring the head back, and I'm going to bring back. Yeah, I'm going to take the controller. I'm going to rotate this, bring it closer. You see, it's still standing. And just use the same controls we used in the first lesson. So quickly, you can subdivide, and everything works in real time, dynamically. You can subdivide. Uh, yeah. If you are not happy with this, with the size of the hair, you can just use the no, oops, yeah, use the radius here. You see, and just keep. Yeah, that's it. For I think it covers the eyes a little bit, and then just duplicate that hair. I duplicated it and pressed Control click to drop it in the same place where it duplicated, and just reshape this. But all doing all tests doesn't work for this system. But you know, this works. There we go. Look at that. And now to duplicate the air, you can just take these two, right? Shift D, and in edit mode, you can scale them -1 on the x-axis, and you have your duplicate. But usually, how I like to do it is, at least when I'm still previewing, so that you know it's dynamic. You can take the air strands, the ones that you are controlling. You can also make an instance of them, which is air strands. Scale them on the y-axis, on the x-axis by -1. So it's like a duplicate. And then you just need to bring them into the air system. Just drag and drop. Again, put it on relative. And all you just need to do is, you know, you're already taking the original ones. This is the instance. Just need to bring both of them together by using join geometry node. And yeah, there you go. Yeah, it should work. Once you click on relative, if you don't click on relative, it won't work. Full relative. And now you can just again make this unselectable. You can adjust. Yeah, you see, and it works. And yeah, so there we go. There we go. So you just now all you just need to do is group. But let's see what it looks like inside cycles before. Damn, 51 minutes. Okay. Let's see what it looks like inside cycles before we close off. Oh, the reason why it's not showing in cycles is because the group output is here and nothing is plugged into it. So put this inside group output. And you see it's very big here inside cycles, even though it looks small in the viewport or smaller. So the reason why is because in the viewport is slightly smaller than the cycles. So at the end you can add another right set curve profile, this same one that we used there, and just duplicate it, bring it here. Okay. And the reason why this works is because there's something called replace radius. If you wanted to replace the radius that it was using before, you just need to click that and make it smaller. So now it will be it's very small. But if we are working in the viewports, we can just use this. It will use the former one, this set profile that's down the line. But cycles we use this one, the one that directly plugs into the group output. So that's the way to use two different radius, one for the viewport and one for cycles. Now, if you look at it, cycles will look smaller, even though the viewport is too big. I will still make it smaller, like maybe 0.6. And the smaller you make it, the better it will look. Okay. And yeah, that's it. And don't forget, we did something that we muted, which is give the parents noise. And now let's bring it back. See, the parents now have proceduralness. It might be too much, maybe 0.02. You see? But depending on how you use it, you have a very, very robust geometry node system, and you can add more to it as you see fit. Let's give it a quick color so that, oops, maybe something like green. I mean, normally you use Blender's air shader, but it's very slow, so I'm trying to avoid using that for now. So this is just for preview. I'm sure you use correct air setup when you are doing it. So maybe something like this, something darker, maybe blue. Look at that. See, it's way more beautiful. You can see the hair strands. You can see as they are twisting. You can see the strays. They look crazy in the viewport, but look at how tiny they are now. And they make the hair look more realistic. The tips are fading out. Everything is working. It looks very good. Now let's say you want to create this specific hair. Look at how tiny it looks. I'll just show you a quick rundown on how to bring other hair, okay? Other hair into the system so that you can do it. So you can just create or just duplicate one of these hair curves, duplicate it, move it into a new folder called tiny hair or something. Okay. Now that it's there, all you just need to do is bring it into the system, put it on relative. Don't forget to put this realize instance node. Okay. Once you do that, you'll be able to preview it. It's very big. Again, don't forget to set the material. You can steal the system and don't forget to resample. Don't forget to air curves. Okay. It's so nice, isn't it? And now for the air, let me turn up the air for my air strands. This is okay. You can just duplicate. And now here you just need to reduce the radius. And once you do that, don't forget to clump it. Don't forget to attach using these same settings. I hope you can follow along. It's just me recreating the entire system. Don't forget to trim. For flyaways, maybe just leave it for now, but you can do it. You just need to duplicate. And let me see. All I'm just trying to do is increase the clump. Oops. Shape. Okay, for this one, maybe I'll reduce the tip. Okay, and I just need to delete this, and the I think it's on the eyes. Okay, it's on the eyes. I just need to bring this up. There we go. And with that done, let's just say this is what it looks like. But the point is that you can do a new system where the air is tiny and maybe even reduce the amount of air it has. Something like this. And when you are done, you have this air system done. Let's say it ended here. You have this and you have this. There's a way to combine them. You just need to, there's a shortcut, Control Shift, right click and drag. It will create a joint geometry node for you. Plug both of them into this final thing for your cycles. Preview both of them, and now you can see both of them. And just like that, you just created another system for tinier hairs inside your system. And now you just need to just duplicate it. You want to create more. And at the end of the day, don't forget you just need to duplicate it to the side. But if you want to see it in real time, you don't want to be duplicating to the left just because you want to see a mirror. What you just need to do again is take this tiny hair. It's already in a collection. Create a new collection called tiny hair. Scale it on the x-axis. Okay. Bring the tiny hair into the hair system. Okay. Put on relative. Put joint geometry. And there we go. That's literally it. And just like that, you have your air system. Obviously, I rushed this, but you have your air system and everything. If you follow along with the tutorial, you know where to change you know that if you want to change the size of each air, it's here. You know that if you want to change the radius of each clump, radius of each air, it's here. The clump, the attached to surface, the trim, and the flyaways. Just like that, you are golden. Now I'm going to show you a possible result if you actually put in the work. Okay, show you a possible result. Let me just pause and go and open it. Okay, so I'm back. Yeah, this is one of the hairstyles I created with the same setup. You can see the curves. Yes, okay. The collection is called long hair strands. I see all of them. I'll select everything. I'm going to edit mode so you can see. See, they are just curves, but it's the same setup. And again, this side is also the same setup. It's just the empty instance, just mirror to the other side, and you can get really good results if you actually put your mind to it. If you can see it, okay. The Yeah, okay. I hope you can see it. Okay, okay. So yeah, I hope you'll be able to. I hope now you know that okay, with this year system, you can actually do a lot. It's a lot easier to control. It's a lot easier to manage. It makes more sense to use because it's not very confusing. And yeah, I look forward to seeing your results. If you do something really, really, really chill and you want me to see it, just send your works to me on Instagram. I'll check them out. I'll check them out. I'll check them out, okay? And I'll like them. I'll comment if I have to. And yeah, I please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I appreciate the love. You guys took me from like if I remember correctly, like 500 followers to like 1,700. I don't remember, but like 1,500 in a matter of days, and it was amazing. I'm so thankful and I'm so grateful to you guys. More tutorials coming. Yeah, just look forward to them. What else? Yeah. Just like and subscribe, share with your friends, and try it out. I'll see you guys in the next tutorial. Bye bye.